The angriest person in any room is almost never the one shouting. It's the one who's completely calm. And if that's the word people use about you, calm, easygoing, never loses it, then there's a question you've probably never actually asked. Where does it go? Because you don't get angry? That's the story. People say it about you like it's a compliment and you've never corrected them, because as far as you can tell, it's true. Something happens that should make you furious, and you feel almost nothing. A flicker in the chest, then flat. But anger isn't a mood. It's energy. A physical event your body starts before you get a vote on it. And energy doesn't cancel because you decided not to use it. It goes somewhere. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where. And you'll recognize it the second I say it, because you've been living with it for years, under a different name. So let's find out if this is you. You're the one who stays level. The room tightens, someone's voice goes up, and you go smooth, steady, reasonable. You're the one who de-escalates, and people have told you they admire it. You can't remember the last time you shouted at someone. You can remember the last time you wanted to. When something genuinely unfair happens to you, there's a gap, a beat where a feeling should arrive, and instead, there's a kind of static. And by the time the feeling would have landed, you've already made it fine. You've already found the reason they probably didn't mean it, and you've never once had an argument you didn't finish afterwards. In the shower, in the car, at 2 a.m, every perfect line you should have said delivered flawlessly to nobody, and you're tired, not sleepy. Tired in a way sleep doesn't touch. If 2 of those landed, here's the first thing you need to hear. That is not calm. Calm is what's left when there's nothing underneath. You have something underneath? Something being held down, actively, constantly, by you. And holding it is work. That's the tiredness. That isn't peace. That's a lid. And here's what nobody tells you about a lid. It doesn't stop anything. It only decides which direction the pressure goes. So let's follow it. Anger has to have a target. That isn't a flaw in it. That's the entire design. Anger exists to say something is wrong, and someone did it. It has to point at somebody. So ask yourself who was available. Not the parent. You couldn't. Not the partner. They might leave. Not the friend, not the boss. Not the person who actually did it. Every one of them could push back, go cold, stop loving you. Every one of them was a risk. There was exactly one person you could aim it at who couldn't leave the room, who couldn't hit back, who'd still be standing there afterwards no matter what you did to them. You were the only safe target in the building. That's where it went. All of it. Every time. And now I want you to notice the way you talk to yourself. That voice. The one that starts up when you make a small mistake. The one already waiting when you get home from something that went badly. Listen to its tone. Not the words. The tone. It isn't sad. It isn't anxious. It's furious. That's the anger. It was never a separate problem you also happen to have. It's the same energy, in its full original voice, pointed at the one target that was never going to fight back. You've never raised your voice at the people who hurt you. You've been screaming at yourself about them for 20 years. Now, some of you are arguing with me right now. You're thinking, I'm not angry. I'm just not an angry person. Notice how fast that came. You didn't consider it. It arrived fully formed, instantly. The way a defense does, not the way a thought does. And notice the tone it came in. That's the lid working. It doesn't only hold the anger down, it holds down the knowledge that anger is down there at all. It has to. A lid that announced itself would stop working. So let me say the thing you actually need to hear. You're not cold. You never were. You're fast. Somewhere early on, you learned to read a room before the room knew anything was happening. The change in someone's breathing, the half-second pause before an answer, the weight of a silence. You caught it, ran the calculation, and adjusted, before the thinking part of you had a word for any of it. Most people never develop that. You did, because you had to. And every time, the calculation came back the same. My anger costs more than it's worth. So your system stopped waiting for you to decide. It learned to intercept the feeling before it finished arriving. That's the gap. That's the static. That was never serenity. That was interception. But interception has a price, and I'd be lying if I stopped at the compliment. Holding anger in doesn't turn it down. Your body still runs the whole event. The heart rate, the pressure, the surge, every single time. The only part you removed was the part where it goes out. So it doesn't go out. It accumulates. And it starts keeping a list. You'd never call it that. But you know exactly what's on it. Every time someone took more than they gave. Every time you were talked over. Every unfairness you smiled through and filed away. And the people on that list have no idea they're on it. That's the part that's hard to sit with. They don't know because you never told them. Because telling them was the dangerous thing. So they keep doing it. The list keeps growing. And you keep being the reasonable one. Until something small breaks it open. A dish left in the sink. A tone of voice. Something genuinely tiny. And you react in a way that doesn't match. The room goes quiet. You see their face. And afterwards, you're so horrified at yourself that you apologize far past what the moment deserved, and you decide the answer is to hold it tighter next time. But that was never an overreaction. That was a decade arriving at once, through the smallest available crack. And underneath all of it sits the real cost. The people who love you have never met the version of you that has opinions about how you're treated. They think you're fine because you've been extraordinarily convincing. And someone who is always fine is someone nobody can reach. So where does a person learn this? Because you weren't born swallowing it. Every child on earth gets angry. It comes standard. Something happened to yours. Somewhere back there, your anger was the thing that cost you. Maybe it made someone go cold and the cold lasted days. Maybe it got answered with something much bigger and much louder. Or maybe nobody punished it at all. Maybe you just noticed you got loved for being easy, and you did the math. However it happened, a very small version of you worked something out, and they worked it out correctly. If I show this, I lose them. So you stopped showing it? Then, because you were good at it, you stopped feeling it. And then you forgot it was ever there. You didn't become calm. You became careful. And careful has been doing an impression of calm ever since. Now I want to catch the other thing you're thinking because it's a good objection. You're thinking, fine. But anger doesn't help anyone. I've seen what angry people do. You're right. And the research agrees with you. Venting doesn't drain anger, it rehearses it. People who let it rip mostly get better at letting it rip. So no, I'm not telling you to explode. Explosion isn't the opposite of what you're doing. It's the same illness with worse manners. The opposite of suppression isn't expression, it's admission. Explosion is anger with no aim. Suppression is anger aimed at you. Nobody has ever offered you the third thing. Anger that is simply known. Known by you on the inside, and allowed to be about the person it was always about. And that's the whole experiment. It's smaller than you're expecting. The next time something happens and you feel the static, that flat, reasonable, nothing feeling that shows up where a reaction should be. Do one thing. Don't confront anyone. Don't send anything. Just finish this sentence. Privately, in your own head, in plain language. I'm angry that... And then say who. Say the actual name. That's it. You don't act on it. You don't fix it. You just stop lying to yourself about which emotion it is and where you pointed it. Because here's what your system has believed since you were small. That if this feeling is ever admitted, something terrible happens. Someone goes cold. Someone stops loving you. And it's never once been shown otherwise because you've never let it get that far. So let it get that far. In your own head, where it's safe. And notice that nothing happens. Nobody leaves. Do it once and something loosens. Do it a few times and the anger stops having to go to the only address it's ever known. Let me leave you with this. You're not a calm person. You're a person who's been at war for years with the volume all the way down. And you've spent the entire war fighting on the wrong side. Every accusation you never made. Every unfair thing you decided to be reasonable about. All of it had to land somewhere. And it landed on the one person who could never get away from you. There's a name you thought of somewhere in the last few minutes. Someone you've never told the truth about how they made you feel. You don't have to tell them tonight. You don't have to tell them at all. But somebody in this should get to be angry at them. And your whole life, the only safe target in the building was you. Let it point the other way. Just once. Just quietly. Just so you know it's there.